This episode is brought to you by the CNY Women's Network, a media and PR company connecting and celebrating women professionals, entrepreneurs, and leaders across Central New York. From networking experiences and wellness pop ups to our annual CNY Women's Summit, which is the largest event for women leaders in this region, we're building a community where women feel seen, supported, and inspired to grow. We're currently partnering with sponsors for our 2026 event season, including the CNY Women's Summit, our walking club, co-working meetups, fitness pop-ups, editorial campaigns, you name it. If your brand is passionate about empowering women and making meaningful community connections, we'd love to collaborate. You can start the conversation and learn more by heading to cnywomensnetwork.com/opportunities. That's cnywomensnetwork.com/opportunities. Now let's get into today's episode. Welcome back to Cultivate CNY. I'm your host, Alex Canavan, and today we're joined by the amazing Andriana Cannon. Andriana is a Syracuse native, seasoned accounting professional, and owner of Cannon Advisory Group. She's a LeMoyne College graduate with a Bachelor of Science in accounting, and she put herself through college by working in the hospitality industry here in Syracuse, which is an experience that has shaped her strong work ethic and client-first mindset and defines her practice today. After graduation, Andriana spent 3 years in private auditing, developing a deep understanding of financial controls, compliance, and risk management. She then served 2 years as accounting manager for a large startup, gaining hands-on experience in scaling financial operations, managing teams, and supporting rapid business growth. Lessons that proved invaluable when she decided to build something of her own. Andriana helps business owners gain clarity, confidence, and control over their finances through strategic accounting, bookkeeping, and advisory services. She's committed to making the numbers work for her clients, not the other way around. Today, we'll dive into Andriana's journey from hospitality to high-level accounting, what she's learned about helping businesses thrive through smart financial strategy, and how she's building a firm rooted in service and trust right here in Central New York. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Andriana Cannon, welcome to Cultivate CNY.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for your time today. This is going to be a fun episode because I would consider us good friends.
Yeah, absolutely. This past year, we've definitely blossomed. It was quick.
I came to you in a moment of desperation
Yeah.
and need, and you took care of me very well. So thank you for being good to me.
Of course. Of course. We love doing that.
Before you started your firm, you worked for a large startup.
Yes.
What do you think that taught you, and how has it been able to translate into your new business?
Yeah. Startups alone, you wear multiple hats. But this startup specifically just took on speed so quickly. So being able to be resourceful and change your hats and move quickly, that helped know that I could pretty much do anything. If you can tackle that kind of stress, that kind of momentum, you really could do anything you put your mind to. I learned so much so quickly because as a startup, there's not always somebody above you to teach you. And you kind of have to create the foundation yourself. And so that helped me learn a lot when I started my business.
Yeah.
Mhm.
One of the things they say to entrepreneurs is like, if you know there's a certain type of business that you want to start,
Mhm.
go and work in the same business somewhere else
Mhm.
first, especially if it's a startup where you
Yes.
can really get a ton of experience doing so many different roles.
Hmm.
And I really wish that I had had some sort of experience in the world that I'm in now
Yeah.
prior to starting this, because
Hmm.
it's really just been a lot of figuring it out on my own. But when you can kind of figure things out on your own alongside other people that are also doing the same thing, it sounds like a lot of fun. But I'm sure that you've been able to kind of implement all those lessons and findings into your new business. Because, I mean, from my perspective as a client, I just feel like you guys have your stuff together and you guys just do such a good job at communication and just like making sure everyone feels taken care of. So I I'm just curious about that. But you also put yourself through college working in the hospitality industry. And I
I
feel
did.
like that probably also gave you the ability to work quickly and work
Hmm.
really hard and be able to manage a lot of things happening at once.
Yes.
Were you bartending, serving?
All the above. I actually came from Chili's in DeWitt and I worked there for so many years on and off. And I had such a great boss. Our first time around, I started when I was, I believe, 18, maybe 19 as a server. And he was my first boss that I met as a stranger. I've always had bosses that they've asked me to come work for them, so I've already known them. And he was such a good leader. He was always, yelling at us, but he was also doing it with us at the same time. So he kind of pushed me to my limits. But I also worked downtown as a bartender as well. And, the one thing I take away from that is not only your multitasking abilities, but being able to adapt to personalities. I love talking to people. That's one thing that I didn't have becoming an accountant. You stay behind the desk. But with this firm, I get to talk to my clients. I get to hear about their day, not just their business. And I love having that again. I miss that, especially being in the hospitality business.
I feel like you are a super social
Yes.
and like personable person
Hmm.
for an accountant. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
But
That's
I'm
true.
sure yeah, you're right. You get the best of both worlds.
Hmm.
Being the business owner that is very much in charge of like the business development of it all,
Hmm.
managing the clients, but also having to still be behind the scenes working in the business too.
Yes.
How long has Canon Advisory Group existed?
Since 2023. So we are fairly new. We are running into our third year of business. And I'll be honest with you, it started off just wanting to be stay at home moms that had a few clients. And so that we could stay with our children, raise our children. And then all of a sudden it took off year one. And I enjoyed helping people so much. And they were so appreciative that I'm like, oh, I just have to keep going. And I spent my whole life surrounding myself with people that I care about and that have like minded missions as I do. So finding a team for Canon Advisor Group was fairly easy. But if you put into perspective, it took me 20 years to create relationships with these people to bring them and be a team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
No, I will say you have an amazing team, and
They're fantastic.
it's to say that it was easy to build that team is like unheard of, I feel like, because that's building the team is truly, I think, the hardest part of
It
building a
is.
business.
It is, and I say it's easy because it felt like it came easy to me. But like I said, these relationships were built through working other jobs and seeing the work ethic of these people, and being able to share these careers with them is incredibly rewarding. Being able to hang out with our kids all the time, never miss a soccer meet, never miss a chaperone event, and still be able to be career women. That was the goal, and we're now living it.
Yeah, I feel
Hmm.
like what you're describing is like exactly why so many women lean into entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Women need more flexibility and with their time, their environment, their energy, then, you know, typically if you're the primary caretaker of the child,
Hmm.
especially, right, then men
Absolutely.
do. I don't mean to make generalizations or
Right.
compare, right? But I've heard this story from so many women is
Hmm.
I want to be just as much of an amazing mother as I am as an amazing businesswoman.
Absolutely.
And when you start your own business, kind of take that leap, you have the ability to do that.
Yeah.
What do you think one of the hardest parts of starting your business was?
I think the most challenging was time management. My personality is to go above and beyond all the time. And it's a burden for me, but it's great for my clients. But I also would like to go above and beyond for my kids too. So being able to manage my time to be able to be 100% for everybody I care about in my life was the difficult part. But again, I feel like I'm so lucky to have an amazing partner who has always been a step up in helping with things that I fall short of so that I can live out my dream. Very supportive. My children are also very supportive. They're very young, but they love seeing me work and have that, appreciation for the time that I spend. I'm up sometimes till 2 a.m., put the kids to bed, go back to work. That was very difficult. But, around year three, most businesses tend to have it all together at that point, and they can start having a little more freedom. And I'm still working on that. Again, I like to go above and beyond, so I still like to be involved in the day to day all the time. I still take on my own clients, so it's not just me owning the business. I am deeply embedded in it and the workflow every day, and still being able to go home and take care of the kids, the house, and you can do it all.
You can do it all.
You
So
can.
how did you figure out how to do it all? Like How did your time management skills shift or improve once you started this business?
So I'll relate it to having kids for the first time. I think that, you know, I used to nap all the time. And then you have kids and people are like, oh, how do you do it? You don't sleep anymore. Like you've always taken naps. And I'm like, you just don't have a choice. You just do it. So leaving no room for rest kind of gave me the push I needed to get it all done in one day. And thank you for my calendar, because if I did not have my calendar, I would not be able to stop what I'm doing with one thing, go on to the next thing, and give my full attention to those things. That was really hard to learn. I tend to linger in what I'm doing until it's over, but I had to stop that. When I'm done with work, I'm done with work, be 100% a mom. And then when you're done being a mom, you're being 100% a business owner, because you can't do it all at the same time. You have to separate it. So thank you to my calendar, and thank you to everybody surrounding me that helps me get that done every day. It's not just me that gets it done.
Yeah. How do you think you've been able to avoid burnout, or do you get burnt out?
Oh, I
And
get burned
if
out.
you do, you just said you did, how do you come back from that? How do you bounce back? What do you do?
Yeah, I push myself a little too hard sometimes, and I'm working on not doing that. But there's a time and place for burnout. I mean, I'm an accountant, and although we're not tax accountants, we are the preliminary to the tax accountant. So our busy season is only 30 days, but we are pushing it, because from January to January 31st, we are making sure that everything is great for the tax accountant. And then they have the next 2 to 3 months to get those taxes done. So we're up late, we are there late, we're there early. And yeah, burnout is inevitable. Um, but really, I think your body tells you. I wish that I would spend more time making sure I don't burn out, but that's what comes with being a small business owner, especially at the beginning stages. So my understanding is to get the work done, but also try to find time to rest, know when your body is giving up and take that break. And I think everyone will understand as long as you communicate that with your clients, like this will not be done till a certain time, or you communicate it with your spouse that I need help with the dishes today. I think that that will help you from burning out often.
Yeah, is not being afraid to ask for help and
Yeah.
to just almost in a way like really lean on over communication. I
Yes.
think if you can learn how to over communicate, whether it's, asking for help or just simply over communicate in your business with your clients,
Mhm.
everything will be okay. Everyone
Everything
will
will be
be
okay.
happy.
Yeah. It's about transparency. As long as your clients know when things are going to be potentially done, they don't worry every day until that time. If they don't know, they're like, "Well, when's it going to be done? When's it going to be done?" But if you give them a time frame, they're more lenient, I feel. And the same goes for like anything. Same with the family. Well, the laundry is not going to get done till Sunday this week. We know. So let's figure out what clothes we're going to wear for the rest of the week. It goes the same with business.
Yeah, you
Mhm.
got to make the expectations clear
Yes.
and also don't be afraid to lower the expectations.
Yes, I agree.
I heard that on a podcast once, like when someone was talking about motherhood, like the key to like being a parent
Mhm.
is making sure that the expectations are as low as possible.
Yeah, I
So you
think
don't disappoint anyone, right?
absolutely, and I think that unfortunately social media, makes it seem like parenthood is easy, and it's not. It never will be. But it's incredibly rewarding, especially when you're like, "Wow, I got all of that done in one day." That's crazy, but it's never gonna nothing's ever easy. Nothing ever obtainable is easy, or
Mhm.
achievable is easy. So keep that mindset and know that you're doing great because you made it another day.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
I love that. So you said when you started your business, you said that we all wanted to be stay-at-home moms and
Mhm.
have that flexibility.
Mhm.
Who else is on your team that is also a mother? Or are you all women who are mothers? What
Yeah,
does that look
we
like?
are all women who are all mothers. And for a little while, the kids were in the office with us. And sometimes they still come by, and we are completely open to that. I feel like our children have grown to understand, like, if they're going in the office, this is what's expected. And we are able to get our work done and have our children play together. And on holidays or random days off for school, we can still get our work done and our kids have somebody to play with. It's a win-win. Um, it just happens that we're all mothers, but We are trying to expand our team a little bit. It does not have to be a parent or a mother. But we do encourage you to have a work-life balance. So any way that we can support that, I feel like that gives so much back to your career at the same time because families that thrive at work as well.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. And like you explained, like the first 2 years of building a business is no joke.
No
You're
joke.
just trying to get established.
Hmm.
So I feel like a lot of founders end up kind of sacrificing that work life balance or maybe just the parts of their life that are very much important, but just can't be a priority right now.
Hmm.
How do you think your priorities have shifted between like year two and year three?
So year two, I decided that I would really like to build a partnership team of like-minded people with the same mission that can help our clients in places that I cannot. I'm a firm believer that if I'm not 100% knowledgeable on the subject, that I will need to outsource it, but I do not just want to outsource it to anyone. I want to outsource it to people who are going to help my clients just as well as I would. And so we built a team of professionals in areas of business that I am not privy to that I can then send our clients whenever they need something. So they might not call me just for bookkeeping. They might say, "Hey, I need a 401k." Great, I have somebody great for you. And we also have multiple people on our list, and I try to find the best fit for them. I think that gives extra value, even though we cannot give that service at the time.
Yeah, no, that's what you did for me when I said,
Mhm.
I need a new tax accountant, help me.
Yep.
To just have that kind of resource pool to, point your clients in the right direction. I
Hmm.
think that's why people hire firms like Canon Advisory because you're not just doing their bookkeeping,
Right.
you're giving them guidance
Yeah.
and you really help your clients and you're currently helping me, dig into the numbers and really try to understand the business so we can get it to where it needs to be.
Right.
Which I think like as a business owner, that's what you want in a bookkeeper. You don't
Hmm.
want to just hand your books over and say, do whatever you do with this. I don't really
Hmm.
know what you're doing, but do whatever you do.
Right.
But, I was really looking for, a firm that felt like a partnership
Hmm.
where I could lean on you for guidance and just tap into your expertise
Hmm.
because I mean, as a business owner, like you're not going to be good at in every department. You're not going to be able to be the CEO, CMO, COO, CFO. You need
Hmm.
to find the right people to get on board to help you with those things.
Yeah, we encourage our clients to do what they're doing best and let us find somebody to help you so that you can thrive and do what you were set out to do. A lot of people think I could do this myself, and they can, but they're not realizing how much comes with owning a business, let alone just doing the operations of it. You can be a fantastic painter, but do you know how about the workers' comp and how much that costs to be a painter on your own? Do you know all these little things? Most people don't. And so being able to talk with a trusted person who is going to guide you at an affordable cost to you is really detrimental, especially here in Syracuse. Hmm.
Yeah, because there are other firms that are much bigger,
Hmm.
right? But being kind of this, like, it feels like this more boutique experience, like a
Yeah.
boutique kind of firm that you guys have. And just your attention to detail and just the care that you've given me, I can only imagine. I'm sure that every other client would probably say the same things I'm saying, but all I can say is thanks. Love you, girl.
Well, we definitely I love that description of boutique experience because I did work in corporate as well. And as much as I did love my experience everywhere I was, I did notice that there was no personalization in some of it because when you get too large and you become a corporate environment, it takes away from the personality of the firm. And it also, like, I would love to know what my clients are doing. I want to know their children's names. I want them to feel like they are family when they come in here. I don't want it to just be a transactional thing. I want to let them know that we are on their team. We are a team. And with your success, we succeed. And that is the best appreciation we can get.
Yeah. And I just think that with the industry that you're in,
Hmm.
I'm sure you've noticed this is that like money and the finance end of a small business is the most vulnerable part.
Hmm.
And for people that aren't comfortable or just don't feel equipped to understand it, It can be a super scary thing to walk into a more corporate setting and feel almost like, "Oh, please don't judge me. I know this is a mess. I need your help, but like
Mm-hmm.
please don't judge me. I swear I'm a good person."
Right.
Cuz I came to you with a mess
Mm-hmm.
and you never made me feel bad about it. And
No,
I
and
love that.
you shouldn't feel bad about it. And again, we've been there, right? And so I understand the stages that you're at, and that's where I was. So being able to experience that with you and be able to show you what happened with me, and then I can get you to where you need to be, that just brings us so much joy.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I can tell. I can definitely tell it brings you guys joy. So, what do you guys do outside of bookkeeping? What would you call your consulting services that you guys offer?
Yeah, we're really we want to be able to help the clients as much as possible in their business as a whole. So we do have a few in-house people who do not work for Canon Advisory Group, but they are aided they aid our clients in other ways. But in-house, we do also do payroll along with the bookkeeping. And sometimes that makes it a little bit easier for the clients because we're hands on. You don't have to do anything. You call us, we do it, and you always get the same people every time. So if you have a crazy question, we'll be able to get you some sort of an answer, even if it's not in our expertise, or we'll have someone to send you to where you can get that answer justified. So, along with bookkeeping, there is a difference between bookkeeping and accounting. Bookkeeping is just categorizing and organizing your books, but we at Canon Advisory Group like to add that accounting aspect to it where we're explaining this to you. Why did this happen? What's going to happen next? How do we move forward? So, having that added bonus, which comes with all our bookkeeping subscriptions, by the way, is what I think that our clients truly want. But sometimes going to firms and saying, I just need bookkeeping, that's all that they are going to get. And people don't know the difference. And there is one, but we like to give both because bookkeeping without consulting, what are we doing it for? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
you need to be able to read your books and understand what's happening in your company.
Yeah. And I'm excited to kind of dive more into that with you
Mhm.
is I feel like I'm also going to be educated too. There's like a layer of education that you're providing,
Yeah.
which could be a really interesting like strategy for scaling
Hmm.
and, kind of adding on more services or like products to your lineup. Today's episode is proudly supported by Empower Federal Credit Union, a member owned, not for profit financial institution that's been putting people and community first for decades. At Empower FCU, banking is personal. They're committed to making financial services more accessible and affordable while reinvesting directly into the Central New York community through volunteer efforts, donations, and partnerships with local organizations that offer food security, accessible healthcare, safe housing, and youth development. Empower FCU is committed to creating a more secure future by supporting jobs, infrastructure, and access to home ownership. Through everyday banking, flexible lending, and trusted financial guidance, we help members reach their goals with confidence. To learn more about how Empower Federal Credit Union is making an impact, visit empowerfcu.com. Today's episode is proudly sponsored by Canon Advisory Group, a trusted partner for entrepreneurs and small business owners across the country. At Canon Advisory Group, their mission is simple: to make managing your finances easier so you can focus on what really matters, growing your business. From bookkeeping and payroll to strategic consulting, their experienced team works across industries like healthcare, technology, finance, and manufacturing to provide personalized, detail-oriented support. Whether you're a startup or an established company, Canon Advisory Group helps you streamline operations, stay compliant, and move forward with confidence. To learn more, you can visit canonadvisorygroup.com. You said that you do want to grow the team. What
Yes.
what kind of person are you looking for?
Well, really, I would say our firm, although we have a professionalism, we are very casual. I want them to feel like home. I want this to feel, I never want someone to be like, oh, I don't want to come to work today. I do not want to work this week. I want them to be like, I can't wait to see everybody in the office. So it's not necessarily the knowledge that we're looking for. It's really the work ethic, the resourcefulness, and just being pleasant and positive. Uh, you can train anything. If you have good work ethic and you're resourceful, you can learn anything. I'm a firm believer of that. So when we think about adding to our team, it's more of making sure that the personality is fitting and then the work will come. The organization will come. Anybody can pick up where we have left off because we are so diligent in our note taking and our structure that you could learn quickly, right? We want someone who wants to be proud of their career and just wants to be a team.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I can definitely tell that you've been able to figure out the whole fun part. You know what I mean? Like every time I walked in the office, you guys are just like yapping and
That's my
laughing
fault.
and just like having a good time, and it just seems like the girls room,
Yeah.
the girls room,
Well,
but not like in an unprofessional way. You actually
mhm.
have quite a beautiful office too.
Thank
I
you.
love your office, but it just seems like you have been able to figure that out, how
Hmm.
to build this fun yet professional culture, because you guys do get your stuff done.
Yeah.
Like you're getting things done over there.
Hmm.
But how do you think you've managed to do that?
So I take the approach of rewarding efficiency. I think that some people can get it done 3 times as fast as others. And if you get your work done, feel free, leave early, go see your family, chat with us, have fun. As long as our work is complete, we have room to enjoy being career woman, right? I don't think it has to be, oh, you finish your work, let me find you more work, unless that's what you want. But as long as all the work is finished, all the bills are paid, please enjoy yourself. You should enjoy where you work. You're there majority of your life, probably more than you're with your family. So you need to have that family aspect, and you need to make sure that it's positive, because if it's not positive, the work goes down. The efficiency goes down. So I think rewarding efficient employees makes them even more efficient, and then we can take on more work and still be able to have fun.
Yeah.
You need to have fun every day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've created such a beautiful atmosphere and environment for people to go to work in. But I also notice you guys are friends. You
Yeah.
do know what I mean? Like
Hmm.
you guys get together and go out, for like work happy hours. I've seen you guys go to Paza for some
Hmm.
cocktails afterwards with just like your team, and I just love that you guys do those things, because I think that that's what companies used to do, and I don't really see a whole lot of that anymore for some reason. I think that
Yeah.
that kind of shifted with the pandemic,
Hmm.
but maybe I just don't go to happy hour, and that's my issue. So I don't see any companies at happy hour, but I don't know. I just feel like you guys have it going on. I don't know why. I'm like, you make me want to become an accountant and come and work for
You
you,
should.
but I could
We are
never.
hiring.
Well, well, I am hardworking and resourceful, but I don't think anyone wants me handling their books.
I will say a lot of that hanging out outside of work. Of course, we are friends, and I feel like that's where like a lot of respect comes from. We respect each other so much in the workplace, but we also are going out and doing those things for our clients. So we love supporting our clients in any way possible. If you're a restaurant, we try to go out there and eat at least once a month, every other month, something like that. And we try to go back and forth. If there's an event that one of our clients is hosting, we love to be able to go all of us together to support them, because, like I said, they're not just our clients. This is our community.
Mhm.
We need to support our community, and we need to make sure that they feel loved and that they feel like we are a team. And I'm a firm believer of that. So, I mean, it's not hard to encourage them to come with me. They do love to support the clients too. But yeah, we do have a great time. And I think having that bond outside of work as well as in work, and then our kids now hang out together, it's just, it makes such a great atmosphere.
Yeah.
And I can't say that I built that. I think that has also been something that I've been lucky
Yeah.
to obtain. It's not easy.
It's a super special thing, and it's not easy. It takes
Mhm.
some real work. But what you're creating is definitely a community, but
Yes,
what you have created just within Canon, it seems like a family. So
definitely a family.
how do you think having clarity around numbers has changed the way you've seen your clients kind of operate in their business? Have you seen a shift happen as people have continued to work with you?
Yes, them not realizing how much information they can get from their books is alarming. Um, I'm telling them things, and I'll tell you this. I go to the books first. I go through and look at their financials, and then I jot down my questions and ask them. And they're like, "How did you know that?" I'm like, "The finances don't lie." So this is what I'm seeing. Is this what's happening? And they're like, "Yeah, that is what's happening." And I said, "Do you know how and why to fix or how to fix this?" And like, "I have no idea." I said, "Well, because we work with so many different clients in so many different industries, when we can get one to succeed, we can then take that blueprint and then apply it so that everyone can succeed." And I feel like because we work mainly with small businesses, that community alone wants to see each other succeed too. And so anything they can do to work together to build Syracuse up is worth doing. And so we help them by showing the clarity in their numbers, them seeing like, oh, yeah, I'm noticing that these 3 months we've hit a lull. Why is that? Is that recurring? We need to make sure we can prepare for that in the summer to make sure that when there is a lull in the winter, we can afford to stay open. Like those are some of the regular things we see daily, especially with seasonal employees or
Hmm.
seasonal clients.
Yeah. If someone's listening to this episode right now that is a small business owner that totally feels intimidated by their books
Mhm.
and just simply by the numbers in their business, what sort of, data points, reports, statements should they be looking at on a regular basis?
Sure. Well, first and foremost, I think that you need to make sure that your business transactions are separate from your personal. That way, you can kind of, if you don't have books, you can gauge how you're doing. But when it is mixed up with your personal, like you just started and you're like, "Ah, I'm just going to run it through my personal check." You know what I mean? And you're not getting the separate bank account. You tend to lose out on, oh, what's an expense? What's a business expense and what's a personal expense? I don't know. How do you know how well your business is doing? Right? If you can at least separate them, and you don't have books, you can at least see how you're doing and what you're spending on that's causing you your deficit, or how well you're doing. You're like, how can I then level up, right? I think reports that you should be looking at every single month is your P&L, your profit and loss for that month, whether you're cash basis or accrual basis. Looking at the P&L once a month will tell you how well you did that month. And then what I like to do with my clients is always compare it to the year. See how well you're doing. Are you moving up every month? Is there a lull? Like we can then predict what the future is going to look like and budget for it. That statement alone, the income statement, also known as the P&L, that's the one you should be looking at as a small business owner, if not anything else.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And there's a lot of people in our community I know that do operate seasonal businesses. I
Mhm.
think when I was a makeup artist, that was one of my biggest challenges was how do you scale a seasonal business?
Right.
How do you budget for a seasonal business? And you would say just simply look at the history
Mhm.
and plan for that.
Mhm.
Um, what have you seen with your clients? Like any success stories from working with you?
Without giving too much details, I've had a client who is in a seasonal business, if you'd like, same industry as the makeup industry for the most part. I'm sure you're doing a lot of weddings and
Hmm.
things like that. And so we encouraged, I'm like, wouldn't this be a good idea to add to your service list during your lull seasons so that you can recoup some of the money until you start getting busy again? And they're like, wow, that's a great idea. And mind you, that's not my expertise, but because I'm in the books and I'm also in your business and we discuss your goals and your ideas, my wheels are turning and I'm like, wouldn't this be a great idea? And that's something that comes naturally that I love to just give my clients. It's not necessarily finance or bookkeeping, but they're like, that's an amazing idea. I'm like, okay, let's talk about a budget then. And that's where the finance comes in. So now we want to do this in the winter so that you can have your sales increase and then you're good for the busy season and you can just promote this time of year so that you can get the business that you need so there is no lull. And
Hmm.
so now they're moving forward and this year we're going to see, has this worked? So I know they're going to be successful. They tend to worry and I'm like, you're so successful, look in the mirror. You know what I mean? Some people don't even realize, like, look how well you're doing. And I love showing people that. They're like, I don't know, it's just so chaotic that I'm not looking. I'm like, look
Hmm.
how well you're doing.
Yeah.
People don't do this all day, every day. You know what I mean? You built this by yourself most of the time. Most of the small businesses, they're doing it with whatever savings they had or no savings, no capital, and they built something. Look in the rearview mirror and say, wow, look where I've come so far. And then we'll push forward.
Yeah.
Hmm.
No, and just like what a unique position to be in because I'm sure there's a lot of people that come to you in times of worry and anxiety over
Hmm.
their business and where they're headed, especially if they don't feel like they understand the numbers.
Hmm.
But you kind of serve as not only a bookkeeper, you're like a strategist, a
Hmm.
business strategist. You're giving out free ideas,
Hmm.
which lots of people charge consulting fees for, but you're
Yeah,
just generous and you just want to see your clients succeed.
I do.
But you're also a cheerleader too, because you've done that for me before too.
Yeah.
I can recall the time that you did it, and I was feeling so just unsure,
Mhm.
and I was able to breathe again after I
Yeah.
talked to you.
And I think that business owners get so stuck in their head, and
Mhm.
I'm going to look at it as an outside perspective and say, look at all the things you've accomplished, give you back that confidence. And now you're pushing through with a team. I think some like people who are listening who don't have a bookkeeper, who are like kind of stressed, like I haven't done my books all year. I'll tell you, because we're professionals and because we have the technology, we can clean those up faster than you could even think about it. Right. And so having that stress just taken off your back, um, this 'tis the season right now. We get phone calls of people, "I haven't done my books. I'm so stressed out." I get it done in a day and they're like, "What?" Some, not all. I get it done in a day and they're like, "What? That was so easy." And I'm like, "Look how great you are doing." And like I give them little tips on how to keep up. It's not it's like I said, it's not just transactional here. I want you to succeed. We can do a cleanup, but after that, I'm going to guide you on if you don't need to use us. This is the things that you should be doing on your own to make sure you're okay. And whenever you are ready to use us, feel free to come back. I want you to feel comfortable, and I'm never going to sell you on something that you do not need ever. If you're not ready for me and I can say, do these few little things on your own and you will be okay, then that's where you are. I don't want to take advantage of this community, and a lot of people do. And that is our biggest thing. And maybe that undervalues us a little bit, but it's so worth it to see people appreciate you, to feel like they finally have someone on their side.
Mhm.
That is worth its weight in gold.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think especially as new business owners, solopreneurs, it's overwhelming to think of just taking on a firm and kind of outsourcing these things, because it can be expensive and it
Mhm.
can be scary to, take on that business expense. But I think also it's like when you don't know what you don't know, it's easy to feel like you are going to get taken advantage of. I
Yeah.
think that's just what we assume. I think as a woman in business, as a woman business owner, it's easy to assume that I'm going to get taken advantage of, especially like the more corporate you go,
Mhm.
um, the more naive I might seem. It's a vulnerable thing,
Yeah.
but what you're doing is so intentional
Mm.
and so needed. And it's refreshing to just hear how much you care,
Yeah.
honestly. As a business owner yourself, you said sometimes it is underselling yourself because you are doing so much that you don't need to do, right?
Mhm.
That nobody else is willing to do.
Mhm.
How do you manage your boundaries with your clients?
My outlook on life is that I don't need to have personally a ton of money to feel successful or fulfilled in my life. And I think that does bring a difference. Spending time with my family, that is what I'm looking for,
Hmm.
right? So being able to at least make enough so that my girls are happy with their salaries, I'm happy with my salary, and then we can give back. This is part of giving back. That was part of it, right? Not overpricing people to the point where they can't afford us to even get to the next step. We don't want that. And like our clients know, like when they start getting bigger, when we start helping them get more successful, of course, that's going to take more of our time and we renegotiate our prices,
Hmm.
but they're always fairly reasonable, in my opinion, so that we can always make what we need to make and they can still afford us to a point. It is give and take, and everybody's different. I never want to use the same template for pricing because everybody's in a different stage of their business. Everyone needs different time commitments. And some people might think I'm crazy for that. And they're like, you're leaving money on the table. But like I said, building our community means more to me than filling my pockets excessively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you might be leaving money on the table now, but I am a firm believer that just like being willing to work for free sometimes, doing the good deeds, going above and
Mhm.
beyond simply because you want to take care of people, you want to serve, that will create so much abundance and so many opportunities for you down the road that you're not even expecting, which doesn't always have to come in the form of money.
Right.
It can be opportunities that land in your lap that might be more visibility or just a
Mhm.
new connection to something or just an experience that you've always, wanted to have. And I just think that the most generous people in the world are always the most successful.
Yeah.
And there's so many ways you can be generous. It's
Yeah.
not always money, right? It's
Right.
it's really mostly your time and energy is the most
Hmm.
generous thing.
Yes. We have been very lucky to be strictly referral based. You help one person, they're going to talk about you. And we are overwhelmed with the support we've gotten from our community. We are hiring because I can't say no. I want to help this community, especially when I find people who very much deserve our help. I've born and raised in Syracuse, New York. I went to high school in Syracuse. I went to college in Syracuse. And I think our city has so much potential. And it's really in the small business. They're the ones that are going to make us thrive.
I mean, talking about the potential in central New York, what do you think are some of the biggest opportunities right now for business owners?
I think that, with everything that's going on with the construction and them trying to build our city up to be whatever they expect it to be, I think this is a good time for the business owners to start. Um, it may help. I can't predict the future, but I do think that these next 5 years are where small business owners are going to thrive. People love the boutique and feeling, right?
Hmm.
People love to support small business. This is the time to do it. If you think you don't have time to start your new business, if you think that I'm just not good enough, think again, because if I can do it, you can do it. I really truly believe that. Mine may have been stumbled on because I had goals outside of my career, but I really do think there's so much help right now. I've surrounded myself with so many impressive professionals that we use from HR, financial advising, health, media, marketing. There's so many people that are willing to help that are like us. Let's do it. Let's get together and let's start like your future.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the best things I think about owning a business here is that everyone has this very community centered approach to
Yeah.
it. I was just talking to someone who hears no all the time,
Hmm.
and they live in a much different market, in a much bigger market than us.
Mm.
And I was telling them that I have barely heard the word no. And in a way, it's been such a blessing because it's given me the confidence to just keep asking and keep going.
Hmm.
But I will say that I could probably use the word no because in times where I make the assumption that it's going to be a no, I
Hmm.
don't even bother
Mm.
asking or
Mhm.
trying. Maybe because I'm just so afraid of, God forbid it's a no. I've never heard no before.
Yeah.
But no, truly, I mean, if you need help, there's someone to call and they'll help you
Yeah.
because Syracuse is that perfect size where it's big enough where there are resources out there
Mhm.
and there are people that can help you, but it's also small enough where the people that can help are excited to just see,
Yeah.
fresh ideas and people willing to do the work and willing to innovate here because
Mhm.
it's not always easy to innovate here. We've been behind the times for the longest time.
Mhm.
And, at first, if you do have a fresh idea, something that's never been done before that you want to bring to the Syracuse area, to central New York, there are going to be people that don't get you.
Mhm.
And it's going to feel like you're not supported
Yeah.
for a little bit because
Yeah.
people just don't understand. And some people are afraid to admit that they don't understand or they're afraid to learn something new.
Mhm.
But just all I can say is just put yourself out there and
Yeah.
you'll find your people. And I found you through the
Yeah.
CNY Women's Network.
Yeah, you
And
did.
I remember meeting you and just like talking to you and being like, this girl really cares about her community.
Yeah.
But I love that you make it a priority to work with the people you're working with. It's not just about who's putting money in my pocket. It's like,
Right.
this is an ecosystem. We
Yeah.
need to support who supports you.
Exactly. And I feel like it is a give and take. They invest in us and we want to invest in them too. That is part of them succeeding. And every
Hmm.
client that succeeds with us is a success for us. And so that's a good position to be in. Like it is a reward. I'm very reward based. It gives me so much joy to see that they've come so far. and that they're happy with us. That I love that. Some days I walk in, I'm like, oh my God, these people are calling and they're just so happy. You guys did a great job. Like, I'm so happy they're happy,
Mhm.
you know? And yeah, I love to reward the girls too. They work so hard, and whether it's monetarily or, getting a treadmill in the office, right? We want to make them
Love
happy,
that.
keep them happy.
Gotta get your steps
Got to get
in.
your steps in. Got to prioritize your health.
Mhm.
That's something I put on the back burner for so long, starting the business. Because you usually do give up something that is like selfish to you.
Yeah.
And this is the year that I'm going to put a little bit back into myself, but also in a slow manner so that I can still keep up with everything else that's going on.
Yeah. You're
Hmm.
doing an amazing job at that, by
Thank
the way.
you.
I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
You're really pushing it. You are a hard worker, girl. Like, it's so inspiring, honestly. I feel like uh I get plenty of rest. And sometimes I'm like, maybe I shouldn't be resting so much. I gotta be more like Anna.
No, you don't. I never rest. I don't sleep much, but I do owe all of that to my father. He is very much, he raised me, and was very adamant about make sure that you always take care of yourself and if you have good work ethic, you can get anything done.
Mhm.
You will always succeed. You always be okay if you have a good work ethic. And I worked 3 jobs while I was in college, paid it off, and some of it, and was able to do all of this. And it's really, I owe a lot to him as well. He definitely instilled that into me, and now I try to instill it into my children.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Super important. I
Yeah.
love that. What are you most excited about in your business right now? What's next for Canon Advisory Group?
That's a great question. Seeing as we started wanting to just, work from home with our kids, and now look where we are, I don't know. I have no idea.
I love that.
I know that I don't want to be too big. I
Mhm.
don't want to end up being corporate. I feel like you lose that sense of importance with your clients. They don't feel important when you get too large. And I don't want that to happen. Do I want it to grow and help people? Yes, but to a point. Whatever that means. Every day is different. Every year is different. I have no idea. I'm just doing whatever works best for us in the time that it's working and going with the flow. We are fine where we are. If it brings more and we have different services and we can help people more, then let's do it. But I never want to dilute the personal aspect of our clients. I always want to have a personal touch. I always want to know about their lives, because I feel like that is something that not everybody can give, no matter how hard they try.
Yeah.
You have to just want to give that back to your clients.
Mhm. You are a very like purpose driven type of business owner.
Yeah.
And like I said, it's so refreshing. And I feel like I'm lucky to be your client because you don't want to take on too many
I
clients. And I'm
know.
like, all right, I'm holding my spot
Yeah,
for
you are.
forever and
You're
always.
here. You're locked in.
I'm locked
Don't
in.
worry.
Before we end the episode, I kind of want to just chat a little bit about the Central New York community.
Yeah.
Feel free to shout out people, places, things. What
Mhm.
are your top 3 things to do in Central New York?
For me, it's tis the season. We are starting back up with our Greek dance at St. Sophia's Church. I am one of the dance leaders for the pre-K, and they are
Oh,
so cute.
I love
And I
that.
cannot wait to start back up again. They actually start back up right on my birthday every year, and I love seeing them, and I love being able to teach them about my culture, our culture. And I also have taken on another role in my community, the Greek Orthodox community, and with the bakery of the Greek festival, which is a pretty big staple here in Syracuse. That's all that's on my mind from now until June. But we also have loved last year, and I hope this year as well, that we collabed with the Girl Scouts of America, helping young women learn about money and finance. They are selling their cookies, they're already getting there.
Mhm.
We have been trying to launch more of a class where they can get badges to learn about finances, especially the older girls as they're graduating from the Girl Scouts and going into the real world, teaching them about rent and budgeting their life. I feel like that's not taught in schools.
Mhm.
And being able to do that for our youth is something we are working towards. It's been a long process, especially growing a business, but that is on my bucket list for 2026 is to get more involved with the Girl Scouts. And yeah, just supporting our clients who are just killing it.
Anyone
We
you wanna shout out? that you're
Alex
able to?
Canavan.
Oh, God. I don't know if I'm killing it yet, but we're getting there.
You know, you're a hard worker, and that's what matters to me. And you are going to be successful in every stage that you're in, whether you know it or not, because you have it in you. And but we love supporting people who support the community. Pause is very new. They support the community so much and bringing a new, refreshing, change to Syracuse.
We needed a place like that.
We did.
Really bad.
Take a break. Sit down.
I love Pausa. I mean,
Pausa.
anyone who follows me on social, I'm like their poster child at this point.
Yeah, it's great. And the owner is amazing. She's very purpose driven. She's also from Syracuse, New York, born and raised, lived in the city. I have so many people to shout out, but really, some of my biggest shout outs, I just want to thank, my husband and my children for being so supportive. My father and my few of my leaders from childhood that have really embedded in me. I had a 6th grade social studies teacher who I still talk to today. He was so supportive and he did not let you give up. And that is what I needed. What a great leader. Him and his wife, I could thank every year for the rest of my life. Some of my people in the hospitality business, thank you for that, because it's not easy, right? But it was fun. We had so much fun.
Lots of fun.
And everybody I've met along the way that has shaped me, really, good or bad. Thank you, because I love where I am today. I can't wait to see what the next year brings for me and my clients.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to see what 2026 brings you, Anna. You are Andriana. Sorry, that's your business name.
Yes.
You only get to call her Anna if you're her friend. So no, I can't wait to see what you accomplish this year. I know whatever it is, it's going to be filled with so much purpose and intention.
Absolutely.
And I feel super lucky to know you.
Oh, same. I'm so happy to have met you. Look where we are.
Look where we are.
Never thought in a million years.
Studio.
that I'd be on a podcast.
I'm so proud of you for doing this, by the way.
Thank you. I was very nervous.
Yeah, you were nervous, but I told you you'd be just fine and you've done great. So thank you so much, Anna. Yeah. Andriana.
Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate you reaching out because I love your platform. You've done great work here, especially with Cultivate. Very great. I'm very impressed.
Thanks, girl.
Welcome.
All right, guys, that's it for this week's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in to Cultivate CNY. If you enjoyed this conversation, I'd love it if you left us a quick review and made sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And if something in today's discussion resonated with you, please share it, whether it's on social media or directly with a friend. You never know how hearing this conversation might be exactly what someone needs right now. And I love to hear your feedback. I love to hear your thoughts. So please be sure to tag us on social media if you do share there. This podcast is produced by Diam Media Group, a video production company based in Syracuse, New York. If you'd like to work with Diam Media for your next big campaign or maybe a podcast you'd like to get off the ground, head to diammedia.com to learn more. Until next time, I'm Alex Canavan, and I'll see you next Monday.